right?
All right, welcome to the Science Workshop. Again, my name is Salvador. Today we're going to be exploring the mini Bernoulli effect. And we're going to be creating a project that represents this effect in a mini version, right? So right now I have a blow dryer. It's blowing air upwards. And I have a little ping pong ball right here. And just observe. Awesome. All right, so we'll get started with our supplies. We'll need a bendy straw. We'll need cheese balls. And we'll need a copper wire. So we'll start by getting our bendy straw and bending it 90 degrees, just like that. Then we'll grab our copper wire and we'll wrap one of the ends onto the shorter bendy portion of the straw. We'll wrap it about 4 times, just like that. And then we'll take the longer portion and wrap it around our finger a few times. Let's say 2 or 3 times. Just like that. You'll see that I have a nice little loop right there. And that loop is going to go right over the straw opening. See that right there? Alright, and one of the more important things is with your cheese balls is to kind of round them off a little bit. You can see there's some flat edges on these, right? This one's pretty round. But you can grab it, you can look where there's a peak and just squish it a little bit. Round everything off. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just enough so I can roll around easily. All right, then you grab your cheese ball, put it right on there, and you gently blow. See that? It's the exact same effect as a hair dryer and a ping pong ball, except it's a mini version. Nice. So one of the tricks for this to work really well is to take a really deep breath. You just go, use your breathe through your stomach, go really deep breath, and then you slowly release it. Right, you have the ball, your cheese ball lift up, and you slowly and steadily release it. And then if you're really good and you get really good at controlling your breath, you'll be able to slowly drop it down, just like this. Watch. Well, not like that, but you'll get better. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, very cool effect. Again, it's called the Bernoulli effect. And yeah. So the next project is the rocket balloon. And we're going to be showing how, you'll be learning how rockets work and how they propel themselves. You'll start with your supplies. You'll need a balloon, a fat straw or a boba straw, a palito, scissors, tape, and some needle nose pliers. All right, so how you start this is you take your balloon, and I want you to notice the texture of it, the elasticity, the way it stretches, right? How easy it is to do this thing, to move it around, or how hard it is, right? Because it'll be important later. And you take your straw, your boba straw or your fat straw, and you stick it in here And you want it to be almost all the way up to the top. Not touching like this, but just almost there. You want about a finger's width left of a balloon at the end. Then you get a piece of white tape and you wrap this around the base of your balloon. I need a little bit more. Okay, just like that. And we're gonna add weight to our balloon by getting a palito. And we're gonna use some needle nose pliers. If you notice, your pliers have two portions or two sections. We have a needle nose section that's meant for gripping, and then we have a section in the back that's meant for cutting. So we'll use a section in the back, and we're gonna squish and just wiggle it until it breaks off cleanly, just like that. So I'm gonna add this to our straw with some more tape. Just like that. Notice how I didn't put it all the way down to the end where we're gonna be blowing air. And next, you just hold your balloon right here, and you
chop off that sharp.
Okay. Next, what you do is you cut off the sharp end, and you make it a little bit safer, just like that. And you can start launching this thing. All right, to launch it, again, hold it from the center. You take a deep breath, and you're gonna blow this thing up all the way. Yeah. All right, that's pretty good. You're gonna grab it like this. Use your thumb to hold the air in, and then you just let go. Awesome. So that was pretty wild. Lacked a little bit of control. That's why we added some weight to try and control it. And again, notice the stretchiness of your balloon. It changed, right? It's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier to stretch out. So let's try this one more time and see what the difference is. All right, there it is, 4 breaths again. And I'm gonna let it go. It's a little bit smoother now. And again, your balloon changed, right? It's a little bit stretchier now. It's not as rigid. Okay, now that we've done those initial experiments, we can be more creative and figure out other things to do and see how those affect it. So something you can do is cut off some of the straw to reduce weight, just like that. You can also add more palitos, so you can tape more of these guys on and make the weight symmetrical. Or you can blow it up and launch it downward, see what happens. You can launch it sideways, right? You can launch it at an angle, see how that affects it. You can put less air, more air. Yeah, you can do all that stuff. And again, just observe it, see how that changes the way it flies. Okay, so the last project, we're gonna get into it, but first let's cover some of the things that are going on with these last ones. So the cheese ball project, or the Bernoulli effect, is, sorry, what was it?
Bernoulli.
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 Bernoulli. Okay. So we're gonna cover some of the things that are going on with the previous projects before we go on to our third one. And yeah, so the Bernoulli effect, right? You're blowing air, and the ball is hovering because of the air, right? It's rushing through this outlet, just like that, right? And then we have the balloon rocket. The balloon rocket is being propelled by the air in here, and it's pushing itself up, right? It's Newton's third law, which is what? Yeah, there we go. So it's being powered by Newton's third law, which is for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the air rushing out through here is equating to lift, right? And yeah, so let's get into the third project. The supplies for it are 3 washers, a cardboard tube, a balloon. You need a sharp pencil, and a paper plate. So we'll start by taking our paper plate and make sure the plate is in its in the position that you would use it to eat, right? You don't want it to be upside down. You want it to be right side up like that. Then you grab a glue gun. You're gonna glue your cardboard tube right on the center of the plate, just like this. Okay, once it cools off, you can flip it over and grab your pencil and poke a hole right through the middle of this right here. You can, if you want, you can look down and make a mark so that when you flip it around, you know where the center is at. Or you can put it up to the light and just poke a hole through that. Just like that. Okay. So that's the initial hole. Then you'll take a palito, like this one, and you'll ream your hole so it's the same size as the palito. And you just put it in there and twist it. Any little pieces of the plate that are sticking out, just push them back in. Just like that. Okay. And the next step is to attach your 3 washers with hot glue, and you want them to be evenly spaced. Okay, once those cool off, you can grab your balloon, and we're gonna attach it to your hovercraft by stretching it out real big, and you want to put it all the way down to the base of your cardboard tube. Just like that. So you want to push it all the way down until the cardboard tube is in the main body of the balloon. That way it stands up straight by itself. See that? Then to make it work, to make it hover, you blow air through here, and then you find a nice smooth surface, you can let it go. So let's try this. Okay, so then same thing, you use your thumb to hold the air in, and you put it on the table and you let go of it. can watch it hover. Cool. Okay, so some things you can do with this, you can experiment on different surfaces. You can try and push it around and see what it does, like at different speeds with different weights. And you can do more air, less air. And yeah, so right now I'm gonna try and see what happens when we push it off the edge of this table. All right, there it is, my hovercraft. So it doesn't fly. It does not fly off and propel itself like this one, which is pretty interesting, right? You would think it would have some sort of a hovering, but let's try it again. All right, so now watch this. I'm gonna let go. Oh, so look, still hovers here. All right. So the difference between these two is that this guy, the balloon rocket or rocket balloon, propels itself through the straw, and it pushes itself up. Again, Newton's third law. And then this guy uses a really thin layer of air. It's thinner than this. It's probably thinner than this palito, and just rides on that. And it can carry a whole lot of weight because again, the air from the balloon is trying to push out, it's trying to escape from this pressurized balloon, and there's nowhere for it to go other than down and out. So that little layer of air rushing out lifts up our hovercraft, and it can carry itself and carry a little bit more weight. But yeah.